Now, I want you to see something. This next scripture just takes it, it puts the icing on the cake, because a person said to me the other day, well, when I was saying, read the word, because the word has power and authority. They said, when I read the word, I don't feel anything. But you know that this scripture says that the unbeliever can't understand the things of God. All right? Because they seem foolish to him. See, it doesn't make any sense to people that's looking at their bank accounts, that's operating in the five senses, when you say you're going to be successful and you're sitting in a place now that doesn't have any victory around it, or maybe facing problems, difficulty, or maybe you don't even have any money to even support your dream. But when you start to believe what the word says and allow God's voice to speak to you, he'll tell you where to go. I never will forget, years ago, I started out selling blue jeans. I had an idea to go and sell blue jeans. I just believed that if I could get the blue jeans and sell them, didn't have any money, I'm telling you, God opened up doors, put the manufacturing company in place, put the people that will buy them in place. So he speaks to you all the time. All of the time. And just the way he spoke to Moses when he came and spoke to him in that burning bush. After Moses had been in the desert for 40 years. After he had messed up God's plan and killed somebody, God still came back and spoke to him in a burning bush, and then guided him to go on and lead 3 million people out of bondage. I'm telling you something. Just listen to that little voice. That little voice is God speaking to you, and he wants to speak to you. He wants to be with you. He knows all things. He knows the plan and purpose that he has for you. Just listen carefully. So when you pray, don't just jump up and move right after you pray. Be still for a second. Even when you're reading the words, sometimes I have to be still for him to tell me what verse to go to next, or how to do this, or how to do that. I'm telling you, he wants to speak to you. I'm telling you, he wants to take you places that you never, ever dreamed you could go. Now, I want you to pay close attention, because when this person said to me that they don't feel anything when they read the word, I'm telling you that the spirit can't be felt in the flesh. It's got to be believed. When it's believed for, the spirit will go out right at that moment. So it's not going to be by your strength or might or by what you feel or think. And it's not that you disregard that, because you use your thinking to put the plans together, put your projections together, lay out your plan, and then you plan the way, but God directs your path. I want to take you over to 2 Timothy 3:16, and I'm going to read this out of the Amplified. And it says, and in 16 and 17, it says, all scripture is God breathed, given divine inspiration, and is profitable for instruction, for the conviction of sin, for the correction of error, for the restoration to obedience, for training in righteousness, learning to live in conformity of God's will, both publicly and privately, believing honorably with personal, behaving honorably with personal integrity and moral courage, so that the man of God may be equipped and proficient and outfitted and thoroughly equipped for every good work. So this is what he's telling you, that even though you're looking, even though you're reading the scripture and you don't feel anything, it's God's voice speaking to you. See, God put the word there and he spoke it to you. And when you speak it back to him, Isaiah 55:11 said it can't come back void. So it's there for you, the instruction for you to profit. Profit how, Pastor? Oh, I profit in your spiritual life, profit in your family, your children, your talents, your giving back. See, the word is not there to harm you. See, Christ came that you would have life and have it more abundantly. He wants you to profit. He goes back to 3 John, 1st chapter, 2nd verse. He says it. My beloved, I wish above all things that you would profit in all things, spiritually, mentally, physically, socially, and financially. Be in perfect health, even as your soul prospers. In other words, your mind prospers when you read this word and you start to understand that you can take it and put it out in the universe and it'll work for you. I tell you, you don't have to work overtime when you got Christ working in your life. He wants to do something miraculous. He wants to take you places that you never dreamed you could go. Now listen to what the scripture said, that it's there to bring you back when you're off track. It is there to keep you righteous and keep you lined up. It's there to make you feel guilty when you did something wrong. I tell you, God has a way of speaking, doesn't he? And what he does is that even when we get out of line, that little voice will speak to us, or that little guilt will come in our hearts, and we can line right back up. I want you to know that 1 John, 1st chapter, 9th verse says that if you confess the sin, that he's faithful to continuously forgive you. I mean, how awesome is that? That's unconditional love. So in other words, even if you do the sin and ask for forgiveness, Jesus is the advocate that sits at the right-hand throne of God's temple on your behalf. So I guess you can say that you're guilty but not guilty, because he doesn't ever take the blessing away from you. And he wants you to go places and do things and accomplish the things that he has planned for your life.